We're on board Carnival Valor, one of the cheapest cruise ships you can travel on in 2023. And let's just say this is the cheapest cruise cabin we've ever stayed in. So stay tuned for the good, bad, and ugly. Let's tour this blast from a past stateroom, starting with the storage here. Right when you come in, there are three main closet spaces. The first two are very similar. They have hangers on the rods, so you can hang up any of your stuff, whether it's dress clothes, casual clothes, whatever you need to hang up. There's also a nice cubby hole at the bottom of these. We love putting our shoes in there. It's nice. It's kept away from things. If there aren't any smelly shoes, they're kept away from your clothes that way. And then there's a little space up top. There are life vests up there, but plenty of space for hats, maybe even some other things or gear that you like to take on your cruise with you. This last closet space is convertible. There are shelves here, so there's three shelves, and then the bottom is kind of a shelf, but it's just the bottom of the closet here. But they convert, so you can move this up if you're not really wanting. If you're not really wanting to have a bunch of shelves and want more hangers or more space for a closet to hang stuff, you can use the rod up top, or you can use it as shelves. It's the only closet that does that, but it's a great thing to have available. The other thing, the mirror. We all know a mirror is important to have with a lot of people getting ready at the same time in a stateroom. There are multiple mirrors in here. It's a great thing about the Carnival Valor and their inside cabins. Before we move into the bathroom, I did want to mention here is the cooler. The cooler down here is a great fridge space, keeps things cold. Obviously, if you have medical needs, make sure your stateroom attendant and everyone ahead of time, your travel agent, knows, so they can make notes of actually having a proper place to keep anything medical stored in a proper cool space. Sometimes those don't do the job that is needed for insulin and other things like that. There's a little mirror here as well with a light. So you can get a little bit for the kids, time to get ready, I guess. But it is a little awkward position of the light where you can't really have a get ready moment because it's right where your face is. Let's go on into the bathroom. Before we get in there, there is a temperature gauge. So if you want it hotter or colder, you can do so right here. Just turn the knob and you're good to go. There's also light switches on both sides of the bathroom, one for the bathroom and one for the overall room. You can see here before we get in the bathroom, there's a lot of pink. We love pink, and honestly, we're here for the pink in this stateroom, but it might not be everybody's style. This bathroom is very similar to most traditional Carnival cruise ships, and that is having a shower curtain instead of a shower door. We hate shower curtains, as most people do as well, because they tend to cling to your body instead of stay upright like they're supposed to, and they usually don't keep the water from going everywhere in the bathroom as well. There is a little lip at the bottom to help with that, but it seems to never do the trick. There is shower gel and shampoo though, and that is great. It's not all-in-one, and a little dish for your own bar of soap if you bring it. There's a clothesline in there to hang anything that you may need to dry, swim trunks, wet clothes, whatever. Also, we noticed there is no footrest. If you need those shaving needs, it is going to be quite awkward, and especially with that shower curtain coming and clinging to your body the whole time as well. The rest of the bathroom is very typical. There are places for toiletries as well as towel rails. Very typical of most stateroom bathrooms, so we're not going to get into those, but it is something to note that when you're walking out of the bathroom, there are two hooks. These hooks are another place to have stuff hanging up. We have our toiletry bag that we hang up as well, so this is a great place to put that, as well as any hats or anything else you like to hang. Let's move on to the rest of the stateroom. Moving into the rest of the stateroom, we're going to go over to the vanity space here. You're going to notice first and foremost that the TV is from another era that I forgot about, and that is where they looked like computer monitors, and they look like computer monitors when it's turned on as well. It is not great. It's very fuzzy, and honestly, I don't think we're going to be watching much TV, even if the channels are vast and numerous. It just does not have a good look to it. Also, moving into the rest of the vanity space, you have a good desk space, and we like that for working from, but the stool underneath is very worn. We sat down on it and realized that it is just cloth and everything else is given way. It's almost like a hammock. But not a comfortable one. So we won't be sitting at that desk for long. It is kind of deceiving. But overall, the vanity space has a lot of desk room. You have some drawers here, which are great for socks, underwear, or anything else that can go inside the drawers. You have 4 of them. The first 2 are shallow, one with the hair dryer. And then the last 2 being a little deeper, but not by much. It is going to be enough for your socks, underwear, and some lighter items, I would say. There are a couple other doors here, and you think it's a cabinet or a cubby, but it's actually the safe. The safe is right here, a very old school safe, but it'll do the trick for anything you need. Of course, we always say you can keep stuff in a safe, but that doesn't mean it's safe. Always make sure that your money is kind of spread out throughout all of your luggage and little bits and pieces. That is the safest way to go. You can use a safe as well if you'd like that as well. The other thing we have to note about the vanity space are the outlets or lack thereof. There's only one US outlet and one European outlet, so make sure you're bringing your European converter so that way you can have 2 outlets if you're from the States, or if you're in Europe right now, make sure you bring your US converter, because 2 outlets or 1 outlet is not enough. There are no outlets by the bed, so this is it. Just be aware of that for all of your tech needs. There are light switches underneath this vanity space, and the lights are doing a pretty good job of lighting up the room. Now let's move into the bed space. The bed is actually pretty comfortable for being an older cruise ship. That is good sign here, with the pillows being comfortable as well. There are 2 desk side tables that actually have a full cabinet in them. So if you do have some additional hats, sunglasses, any needs for nighttime medication, whatever, you could put them in those cubbies pretty easily. There are side lamps as well that have their own switches. So if you have someone up at night and the other person's asleep, you don't have to have both of them on, as well as a light switch in the middle of the bed. So you can turn all the lights off or on at nighttime or in the morning. One thing to note though about the bed is there's not a lot of space underneath the bed. Under the bed, it really is only meant for those smaller suitcases. If you have those big suitcases, it will not have enough space for some of those larger suitcases to go under, meaning you're gonna have to put them in the closet. Now, luckily there's a lot of closet space, but if you bring a lot of bigger luggage, this may not fit in the room. One other thing I have to note is there are 2 other additional hooks in the room, and they are just on the wall here. You're gonna notice the decor around it too. Very dated, lots of pink, lots of taupe, but overall a lighter room. We do love that. We hate being an inside stateroom and it being dark everywhere at all times. So honestly, the pink is refreshing and light, and it does give you kind of that blast from a past feel in a good way. Now let's talk the good, bad, and the one ugly. Let's start with the good. The good is very great in the fact of storage space. The storage is wonderful. For an inside stateroom, we're really impressed. The next part that we didn't talk about is the overall space. The overall space of this inside cabinet is actually pretty great. We have plenty of place to work, plenty of places to roam and get ready. If you had 3 or 4 people, obviously it'd be tighter, but it's still actually a pretty good size for an inside cabin. The next part is the bed. The bed is actually really comfortable, and we really like that, and that is very important to any vacation on a cruise ship. One other small good, and we forgot to mention this in the tour, is there is a movable side table that's good for working from bed, or maybe you have that room service delivery. We love that. It's heavy, but it's good to move around wherever you need it inside the room at any time. Now let's get into the bads here, and there are a few that we have to re-mention or mention here. The first is the TV. The TV is from another era, and it looks like a laptop monitor or a computer monitor. It does not work well, and it's not suitable for someone that wants to binge out and watch some TV late at night or early in the morning. The other bad here is the outlets. The fact there's only 1 US or 1 European outlet in the entire stateroom is really hard for 2023. Definitely something that we do not like of this stateroom. The next bad is that shower curtain, which we know is on a lot of Carnival cruise ships. We just hate it, and we have to note it. Obviously, that is not a deciding factor between choosing between Carnival ships, because that is something that is very familiar there. But other Carnival cruise ships that are more recent don't have those, as well as other cruise lines may not have those as well. So if that's a deciding factor for you, definitely note that. The next bad is the fact that we did not like the fact that we have to put our luggage in the closet instead of under the bed. Obviously, we only have 1 large suitcase, so that helps. But if we brought a ton, this would be really bad. It's hard. The storage is both good and bad, but for certain reasons. This brings us to our ugly. We haven't even talked about it yet. The noise from the outside hallway is a lot. And if you're aware, on a Carnival cruise ship, we can have a lot of people up late at night, having a great time and coming back to bed very rowdy in the hallways. And when we do have that, we hear it all. Whether it's a small conversation or a loud conversation, we hear everything. So be careful when you're walking the hallways on this ship. Everyone's listening. Now, will we recommend this cruise ship for others or this stateroom? Yes, we do like this stateroom overall. As long as you're not a light sleeper, the noise isn't going to be that big of an ugly for you. Overall, this stateroom is actually pretty impressive for an inside cabin. It is dated, but we like that. We like the retro feel here. So if you're going on the Carnival Valor and you have an inside cabin, rest assured you're in good hands here. Please remember to comment your thoughts below, as well as hit that subscribe button and that thumbs up. And of course, until next time, see ya.